Hey Amarillo, I'm Skylar Gallup, and you're listening to Hey Amarillo, the interview podcast featuring some of the most interesting people and stories of Amarillo, Texas. We record every week at Amarillo College's Innovation Outpost. The IO supports education, workforce development, and industry growth by inspiring and facilitating innovation in the Texas Panhandle. Today's guest is Lorie VanOngevalle. Lorie loves the outdoors and has made it her life's work and pastime to experience and enjoy everything Mother Nature has to offer. From racing Arabian horses to tending her bees. Lorie cuts hiking and riding trails across our vast and rugged wilderness, and in her current role is working to get the last piece of Texas BLM land open to public use. Lorie reminds us to get outside, get your hands dirty, and blaze a trail for generations to come. Here's Lorie. Lorie VanOngevalle, welcome to the Hey Amarillo podcast.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. Let's start with, where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Where did I grow up? I grew up in New Mexico. I lived mostly in Albuquerque and Santa Fe.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
And what was your childhood like? Were you outdoorsy? I think that's going to be sort of a theme of the conversation. So when did you first maybe get that outdoor bug?
I was a daddy's girl. So yes, I went hunting. I went wood cutting. We spent usually about 2 weeks of the year at Elephant Butte. So camping, fishing, you name it, we did it all. My mom was also, she liked to fly fish. So we were outside a lot.
And so what did that translate into as you progressed through kind of like adolescence and growing up? Was that something that you wanted to do? Did you go to school? Like, what did you do after high school?
High school, I did go down to New Mexico State and studied business. Realized first semester I was at an ag college or at ag school, so I started taking all the horseback riding classes.
Oh.
Got into horseback riding, and pretty much I've always been a hiker. I've always enjoyed getting out and walking and seeing different things. So no matter how old I was always running around and probably in the wrong place and not where I was supposed to be. So
sometimes the best kind of trouble.
Yeah, pretty much.
And did you get a degree in business, or at what point? Okay, and what did you do with that degree?
I've done a lot of project management, and I've had a literacy project in the area. I think we're going to be 20 years old this year. So I've been the director of that, and just small projects here and there that I've been doing.
Cool. So. And is this still over in New Mexico?
No, this is here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you get over here?
So my husband was with Hastings.
Oh, cool.
So when we were first married, we moved around quite a bit to all the different stores, and then it ended up here because this is where the home store was, or the home office was. So that's how we ended up here.
Yeah, we do love us some Hastings.
Yes, miss it, especially this time of year.
Yes, yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so whenever your husband needed to move to Amarillo for work, what were you doing at that time?
I was substituting in Colorado. So we were in Colorado at the time. So I was a substitute teacher up there.
Okay. And what did you land here doing?
Well, I've had a literacy project. I've been a club president. I've worked on some scholarship foundations where we pick out scholarships for people. So I've always just kind of dabbled around. I have rent houses.
Okay.
So
Tell me about the literacy project.
Okay. So I have Arabian horses. What I do is endurance riding, so it's long distance, cross-country riding. And I would go to Albuquerque for the Arabian Nationals. And while I was there, a lady was talking about the Little Black Literacy Project. And what it is Walter Farley, who wrote The Black Stallion. His son started a literacy project for first graders, and they used 2 of Walter Farley's books. Little Black, a Pony is your first book, and then Little Black Goes to the Circus is the second book. And the idea is you go into the schools. Most of this was started in Florida, but they were taking it across the nation at the time. And I just thought, what a wonderful idea. Even though we have a lot of ag here in Amarillo, we still have some kind of inner city schools. There's definitely some students out there that have not really ever seen a horse.
Sure.
So with the project, we go to the schools, we take 2 horses. The kids meet the horses and they're given a book, and this is all first grade. They are told, hey, read the book. In May, you're going to go on a field trip and you're going to read to these horses because they're the main characters. And so we have been blessed with the Will Rogers Range Riders. They have allowed us to use their indoor arena. We have all the schools come there. We'll have 8 stations. They'll go around, they'll learn about horses, and in 2 of the stations, they read the book to the horses. And the whole idea is the horse isn't going to judge them. It's not the teacher sitting there. It's not the classroom sitting there. They go up, they stand next to the horse, they read a page to them. It's just a light way of getting them to read, getting them to, kind of push through. And then as they leave, we give them their second book, which is Little Black Goes to a Circus. And that book teaches them to follow a character through several books. So that's our literacy project.
That sounds like the coolest field trip that a first grader could ever. I mean, just to think about a horse showing up at your school.
Yes.
Is like very exciting. It
is so much fun. I have so many teachers just tell me that this is their favorite program. So.
I am sure that that's true. And then to get to go, in a first grader's mind, get to go where the horse lives.
The horse lives, yep. And they'll learn about saddling. They'll learn about the feed. We have one station, because we have first graders, where they run around. They learn to walk. They learn to trot. They learn to canter. And if they still have energy, we pretend to jump over things. So
I get it.
They have a great time, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to get out of school, but still work on what we need to learn.
Yeah, motivate them to read those books.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
How did you get into Arabian horses?
While I was at New Mexico State, I started taking all the horse classes, and I thought I wanted to be a hunter jumper. So if it wasn't a horse taller than me, which is 17 hands, I didn't even want to ride it. Well, then I ended up working at the Girl Scout camp as a riding director for several summers, and a friend there took me on my first endurance ride. And
so how far are we talking?
This one was a 25-mile ride.
Okay.
It was a horse that had just retired from doing 50s, and he knew way more than I did. We argued a lot. He pulled on the reins quite a bit, and my friend finally said, because we were with someone with a young horse, she says, just go on. And I was like, okay. I don't know where I'm going. But the horse knew. He followed the ribbons. He got me there. He didn't let me know how to finish, because it's all on heart rate, and there's like a certain way you have to finish.
Oh.
Yeah, so I didn't get the placing I had hoped, but I learned. And I'm a hard-headed person, so it was a good way for me to learn. I've never made the mistake again. But anyway, so that was on an Arabian horse. Probably 4 months later, I owned my first horse, and he was not taller than me. He was only about 15 hands, and I've done endurance racing ever since. So.
That's really unique.
It is.
Is there a large, we've got a large community of equestrian folk around here. Is there like a subset of that is Arabian and endurance running, or endurance riding, excuse me, or do you go find them elsewhere?
Well, we had a really great group of about 12.
Okay.
I'm part of the Crown of Texas Arabian Horse Club, and we actually put on an endurance ride up at Lake Meredith for 20 years.
Oh, cool.
We had the rancher that borders Lake Meredith. They were so willing to let us use part of the ranch. So we actually put on a 3-day ride. We had 25 and 55 miles each day. And between Lake Meredith and the ranch, we were able to have 4 different loops to where you weren't riding the same thing every day. So at the time, we actually got a lot of people interested in the area in it. And it's not a breed-specific sport. We have all breeds that compete in it. It's just the Arabians happen to be the horse that compete in it in the most. So for a little while we did. People have kind of moved on since then, and it's become a smaller group now.
Yeah. So when you're doing an endurance ride like that, are you carrying like your tent, like your camping stuff, or do you normally return to a place?
You return to a place.
Okay.
So for instance, a 25-mile ride, you have 6 hours. You have to finish it. A 50-mile ride, you have 12 hours. You have to finish it. It's all vet controlled. So when you get there, your horse is inspected by a vet. You do a loop, your horse is inspected by the vet, and until the end, and then your horse is inspected by the vet. So everything's very vet controlled. So it is a race. You do want to finish in the quickest, healthiest position that you can.
Yeah. Is the horse like trotting, galloping? What level do they stay at for such a long time?
It depends on the level. It depends on the level. There's 100-mile rides.
Wow.
And people can finish those in 10 hours. Not me so much, but yes. So depending on the terrain, because not only are you going against time and other people, but you have the terrain to consider, because this is all cross country. The best thing about this sport is I can go anywhere in the United States and sign up. It's a national group that does it, the American Endurance Ride Conference. I know I will have a marked trail. I know I will have vets watching me and my horse the whole time.
Yeah.
I know I'll have somewhere to park. I've been on private land. I've been in all the different kinds of parks and BLM land. One of the best things I've done is we went to the Biltmore in North Carolina, and we were actually rode through the vineyards. No one else rides through the vineyards, but we did, because that's where our trail went. And I mean, I've gone to California, Bryce Canyon, the Grand Canyon. So to me, it's a great way to see the country and also see areas that other people might not. And it gets me further out into the area than if I were to just be driving through and pull over and camp a night.
Sure.
So, and I know it's a safe environment. So
that seems like a really fun pastime.
It is. It is. It's a great hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like you've got a handful of interesting hobbies.
Yes. I dabble. I guess I'm a dabbler. I dabble.
Keep things interesting.
Yes.
I understand that you're a beekeeper. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Tell me about this.
Bees. I try to keep about 3 hives. I'm not living where there's the most food, so I have to be careful of that. But I just one day decided I wanted to have bees, and I love them. They're just so much fun. I have a rocking chair right next to the hives. I'll just go out there and sit and listen to them, and they're just really fun. I really enjoy them. I studied up on it. It's been a while since I've done it, but I did go to the library and did a little quick information for the bees, and I think I went to a 2nd grade class too, and just brought all my posters and let them touch all the bee equipment and the smokers and everything. And a drone is a male bee, does not have a stinger for the honeybees, so I can actually catch those and take them to classes so the kids can see them. And remind them that, these guys are important. Our pollinators are super important. Without them, we won't have food. So it's a great opportunity to share that, and mostly I find them relaxing.
Yeah. Do you harvest the honey?
I have on good years, just depending on how good the year is. But for the most part, they need it to make it through the winter.
Yeah.
So.
That's very cool. And I think there's a lot. My mom has a couple bee boxes down in Central Texas. And I think I've been surprised even to kind of learn that like they're not trying to attack you. That there's just like a lot of things that I didn't really think about or know before I went and kind of saw some bee boxes.
Yeah. It's as long as you're not disturbing them, you can sit right there with them, watch them come in and out, and listen to them, feel the vibration. It's very healing. So
yeah. So talk a little bit more about your experience with them. What does it? You've said that it's relaxing and healing. What do you think causes that?
It has to be just the energy that they kind of give you. I don't know. I've had them when I've gone through the hive checking things, and you get their honey and their smell and everything on your hands. They'll land on your hands, and they just kind of vibrate. I don't know how else to explain it, and it's the coolest thing ever. And you just sit there and they just hang out, and I don't know.
So you don't wear a bee suit?
I do wear a bee suit.
Okay.
I do.
I was like, my mom.
Yeah, no, I do wear one.
Okay.
I've had bees around 5 years. I think I've been stung 12 times. And a lot of that is so my fault. You know, someone's in a crook or cranny and I bend and squish.
Yeah. You're a lot bigger than those little bees.
Yeah. And they do. They start crawling all over you. Yeah. So you forget that they're there.
Sure.
I think I've had a couple that are pretty cranky and actually let me know I wasn't supposed to be there. So,
messing with us.
Yeah, but for the most part, they're all pretty chill. I don't use a smoker very much.
Really?
I don't like it. It seems like everybody gets too upset and carried away. And if you just seem to move slowly, they don't seem to care as much that you're there. Especially if you move and open up some of the honey, their focus is, oh, this is gonna spill. We need to save it. And then they just kind of ignore you. At least mine, the group I have now, it was really great. So
yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So talk to me about, we'll get to your current occupation with Open Crossbar, but your outdoor activities clearly came from, your experiences as a child. What motivates you in staying connected with our outdoor world? Like what are, it sounds like you're a hiker, you do the horses and the beekeeping, and clearly find a lot of centering and peace being in our outdoor spaces.
I think that's what it is. I feel centered. I feel peace. I don't care to be indoors. I just never have. I think it's just deep rooted in me to get outside and do something. I remember as a child, any chance I had, I was the one that got everybody in trouble because we went and played in a stream or, we came back muddy. I was really known for that. It's just, it's who I am. It's where I belong. So. Yeah.
And you mentioned husband, children?
Yes. 2 children.
Okay. Are they also outdoorsies?
Not as much as I'd like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not as much as my older one is 22. She was really great going outdoors with me. My younger is 16, and she'll go with me. She'll go hike with me. Well, I say with me. She's usually in front of me. Or, she usually leaves me. But they do go outside. I just probably quite not as much as I would have liked. But they always know they're welcome, and they do go out with me. So
yeah, and they're young still, maybe.
And they're still young. Yeah. But they've done a lot. They've helped build trail. They've especially my older daughter, she marked trails for the endurance ride. So they grew up going to endurance rides, and we work them, and then I would participate in them. My older daughter did also compete with me a couple of times too, which was a lot of fun.
So when you talk about building trail, is that specifically for the endurance horse rides, or are you talk to me about your experience with building trails?
So building trails has just been more for whoever is the land owner or manager. So I've done it for both the BLM, for the Bureau of Land Management, and for the national parks. Pretty much what I focus on, or what I've been taught, I went to a trail master class, and we work for multi-use. The idea is with the different types of user groups, so horses, mountain bikes, walking, hiking, we all erode the trail differently, and in a way we negate each other out. So where you have one group constantly on a trail, they pound it into their type of erosion. So where I was trained and what we do when we build trails when I'm a crew leader is we work on that, a multi-use idea. And where our biggest concern is water erosion. Yeah. So that's what we work for is to how do we fix the water erosion, because we're going to build a trail wide enough that everybody can use it and enjoy it.
Where all have you worked building trails?
Lake Meredith and also Fort Stanton, and then now up at the Crossbar.
Okay. How does one begin a trail? Like I think about, I guess in my mind, you just always followed cattle trails or something until it became a footpath and then became, that. But how, so you just go start a trail out in the middle of the brush, or?
So, usually it's up to the land manager.
Okay.
So we have point A and point B that we need to get to.
Okay.
And we'll walk it, and we'll take a climometer, which will give us the percentage of elevation gain or loss.
A climometer?
Climometer.
New word for the day. Thank you.
And so the hardest place to build a trail is flat. The easiest is on some slope, because you can use that contour to put in your trail. Your water's going to go across it. So anyway, so you may think, straight across, that's going to work. Well, straight across, you go straight down into a ditch and straight up. Well, that's a fall line, and that is going to erode terribly. So, now, we're going to go along this area, and then we're going to turn. So pretty much planning the trail takes a long time. Just to flag it out, make sure you're not breaking any of the rules. They have, a 10% rule. You should never break 10% on elevation gain. So
you're not wanting to give water a clear path.
Yes.
Because then it will just dig
Eat
in
it out.
I see.
Yes. So
you want a windy trail.
You want a windy trail.
And they're more interesting.
And they are more interesting. And you see things, you can have a hot spot that you want someone to actually go to. So you will figure out how to meander that trail to that overlook or whatever, so that they can look over it. You may have areas. Fort Stanton has a lot of Buffalo Soldier grave sites.
Sure.
And so we know where those are. We avoid those areas. Yeah. So we'll go around those areas. So mostly when we've done the trails over at Fort Stanton, it's like, okay, well, here we have this area. We want about a 4-mile trail, and we'll go out and start flagging it and find the best route. So.
And then is there a portion of this that's like going in and like grubbing out, and then you just got to clear the cactus and the mesquite and the scrub and all that?
That's step 2. And then step 3 is actually cutting into the dirt.
Okay.
And then 4 is finishing. So I tend to be a finisher, so we work with 2 different tools, a Pulaski and a McLeod, and those are actually wildfire fighter tools. The Pulaski is, so 2 of my friends are hackers, what we call a hacker, so they're the ones who actually dig into the dirt and move it out of the way. Then I come through with a McLeod and I clean the dirt, I clean the area, I make it smooth so that when you're walking, you're not twisting ankles.
Are these like tractors?
They're hand tools.
They're hand
tools.
Man.
It's a hand tool. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So they're like shovels.
Kind of more like rakes and a pick.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a hoe. Yeah.
And I guess if you're way back there, I mean, who's hoofing all that dirt back somewhere?
A lot of that comes to the finisher, and we throw it. We toss it as far as we can to spread it.
Okay.
So that because you don't want a big mound of dirt, because that's ugly.
But you could spread it. Okay.
Yeah. So you take it across the tread and you throw it out there and spread it around so that it's not an eyesore.
That's some hard work, it sounds like.
It's wonderful, though.
You love it.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it.
I don't build trails, but I also really love literally getting my hands in the dirt.
Yes. Yes.
It feels good. I think sometimes these days we can find ourselves pretty far removed from that sort of work, and it always feels really nice to go and get your hands dirty.
Yep. It does. It does.
This episode is sponsored by the Amarillo Art Institute at Arts in the Sunset. If you haven't been, this place is an amazing center for Amarillo's vibrant art scene. They have monthly events, including the First Friday Art Walk, which showcases the artists they have in residence, and they are some incredibly talented people with all sorts of wares and mediums. They also offer classes for children and adults in things like glass blowing, weaving, and pottery. It's super cool. Check them out on Facebook. That's Arts in the Sunset. Okay, so bring us to Crossbar.
Okay.
There's been a good amount of talk about this place called Crossbar, just kind of north of our community a little bit. And you guys are doing some work on that. Tell me about, first, what is Crossbar?
Okay. So the Crossbar is Bureau of Land Management land. So it's federal land. They have owned it since, I think it's 1932. And the reason the federal government owns it is because of helium. Helium was stored in the dome underneath the Crossbar. The government has since gotten out of helium, but they still own the land. And
stored, not mined?
Stored.
Interesting.
Yes.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So there's like a big open pocket, and the government was like, "We're going to put our helium here."
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the dolomite rocks.
Okay.
Yeah, helium. Someone who knows helium better could answer that better, but I'm pretty sure it's because of the dolomite dome.
Okay. And so then the government got out of helium.
Yep.
Took their helium with them, I assume.
Nope, sold it off.
Okay.
And so we have this surface area that is the Crossbar. They had public meetings. It was decided to become a recreation area.
Okay.
The hard part is everything's privately owned, so we are
around it.
Yes.
So it's a little island,
it's
right?
a little island amongst private land. We are very blessed. The LX has donated an easement, so we do have a route to the Crossbar to build a road.
The LX, I'm assuming, is one of
the ranches.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so we have an easement. The Friends of Crossbar has worked with Potter County, and we have a federal lands access program grant, so a FLAP grant that they have applied for, have been awarded. We're probably, I believe we're 2 years into this grant. The Friends of Crossbar, we are raising the match to this grant. Mm-hmm. It is a $12 million grant. And we're responsible for $4 million of it. We're 78% funded so far.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes. The road itself is, all the engineers came out and walked. They are at 30% designed. We plan on being 70% designed by next July. So right now, according to the engineers with the FLAP program, we should be building the access road in 2028. So if everything stays on schedule.
Where is Crossbar?
Okay, so Crossbar has the Canadian River as a northern boundary. And if you go up 87, it's about 2 miles to the west. It's 12,000 acres. It does have, in the lower south area, it has a checkerboard. They call it a checkerboard. So there's sections, and then it's a private section, then a section, and then a private section. Those checkerboard areas, as far as I know right now, they plan on keeping that as conservation areas. And then the almost 10,000 or 9,000 acres that's solid, that'll be the recreation area. We've built 14 to 16 miles worth of trails. The government has put together a master plan, so hopefully we'll be around 40 miles of trails. They'll all be multi-use, no motorized vehicle. And then since it is federal, all the rules, whatever happens in any federal lands, it'll be the same rules. So I believe Class 1 e-bikes will be okay. But other than that, no motorized.
So it's horses, walking, bicycles,
yes,
e-bikes, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. They're planning a little over 120 campgrounds, eventually a store and a visitor center. Something that was super excited this year, we had the astronomy club come out and they did the light test So we should get a dark sky certification, which is really awesome.
Very cool.
So they've already started working with the Public Lands Interpretive Association, and they're planning on a dark sky area. And then also, since we have this because of helium, we're going to have a helium interpretive area. So that will be kind of a nod to the area and what we need. It's right now they have one of the helium gas wells they've left intact, and they're going to have it to where everybody can look down and see it and have more of a hands-on education opportunity. That's what's in the plans so far. So hopefully we'll get to see that.
So it sounds like the figurative and literal path has been paved thus far.
Yes.
To get there, what has it taken to get to where we are, where it's kind of like, okay, there's this grant that you guys can have as long as you raise, you're part of it. What has the journey been to get here? Was it challenging, or just takes time because it's bureaucracy, or what have you guys been through to get to where we are?
I think a lot of it is time. And then we actually went through, or I say we, but the crossbar, the BLM went through 9 different routes to get there. The original easement that was granted was going to be something like $26 million. And it was because it was along the Canadian River, the soils, the cliffs. It just wasn't feasible to build a road on that first thought of an easement. So mostly I think what's taken time is, one, finding the best route, which we have a wonderful route now, 4.2 miles. It's going to be great. Pretty much straight shot west, straight shot north. So it's going to be fairly easy to build. So that's probably been the most challenge, and it just takes time to get everybody to look at it, to see if this is the best route, and then we have to be thankful for our neighbors and what they're willing to help us with.
Yeah. And recognizing that, when you guys get to goal, whenever that occurs, it's going to be a lot more people out there.
There's going to be a lot more people out there. And this is exciting because it's going to be brand new. So all the infrastructure is going to be up to date. And this is something that all of our kids, our grandkids, this is a generational this is just going to be for the generations to come. So that's what also makes me excited, is to know that my grandkids are going to go out there and they're going to hike on trails that I helped build. So I don't know, that's what makes me excited, is to know that the future is going to be able to go out there and have somewhere to play and enjoy.
What's it like on Crossbar? Many people, because it's been closed, I know that you guys do, at this point, before the road and all of that is finished, you'll have some like one-off excursions where they open that easement and get back there. But the vast majority of the people that live out here haven't been out there. So
that's true. They haven't. And we try to have it open about 3 times a year. It does take coordination with all the neighbors. The route we take in actually crosses 7 private properties. So we need to be super respectful.
It's a lot of coordination.
Yes, a lot of coordination, and be respectful of everybody's. We're going through someone's backyard, right? So we're going to be good about it. But when people come out, we do have the trails that are already built. They bring their dogs, they bring their kids, they bring their bikes, they bring their horses. They all go out and enjoy it for the day, and then we bring everybody back in. I think the number one comment I get when people come out there is they say it's so vast. They're amazed at how vast it is. And I think that's because a lot of times, we're between here and there, we're driving. So we don't really look around, and we don't slow down long enough to look around. But when you go out to the Crossbar, there's no houses. There's nothing built. It's just all this area, and it's vast and it's beautiful. So that seems to be the number one comment, is they just kind of look around and they go, wow.
And I think if not for, of course, PDC, which is, everyone's favorite, backyard canyon, that is heavily visited.
Heavily.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And kind of like the spots along the Canadian River that you can like go jeeping, right? If you don't own land, you really don't have the opportunity.
No, you don't have the opportunity
To experience that vastness, to get off the highway, stop and go be in the middle of this beautiful place.
Yes.
That we call home.
And yeah, you don't have that opportunity to really just stand in the middle of it and look around. We should complement Polidoro in kind of like, a sisterhood. All of the trails in Polidoro are down in the canyons. We've planned all our trails on the edge of the top of the canyons, looking down. There's 3 canyons that go through the property plus the Canadian River. So the trails are going along the top. So you can look off to one side and see the high prairie grasslands, and the other side you look down into a canyon. So we should complement each other beautifully. Texas A&M did a study. We should bring about 13 million into the area, is what they were guessing, into the economy once it's open. So I think hopefully it'll get travelers to pause and stay a little longer in Amarillo.
Get off the highway,
To get off the highway, go down to Polidoro, go to a baseball game, and then go up to the Crossbar and go to the Helium interpretive site, or, camp out a night, however they want to see their time. I think with the interpretive areas, it's not just for outdoors people. It's also for the people who want to learn about the helium. It'll give people an opportunity of somewhere to go and learn about that.
Yeah, I imagine science classes, field trips, whatnot. That's really cool.
And we have had some high school AP science classes go out there. I don't really remember what they were working on, but we've actually had field trips out to the Crossbar already. So that's encouraging and exciting to have another opportunity for our kids.
Yeah, that's great. But correct me if I'm wrong. This is not the goal here or vision here is not to turn this into a state park, or I guess national park. It would be, obviously, because it's federal land. It's to keep it this recreation area. And can you explain it?
Yes.
So what is, you've mentioned kind of a store and some camping. So what is like the end goal of what Crossbar would look? I mean, is this like a national park or a camping area? Like what's...
I guess
if there's no motorized vehicles.
Yes. So it would be a national recreation area.
Okay.
Yes. So it would be somewhere where people can come in, use the trails, day use, or sign up and go into the campgrounds and camp overnight.
But like park your car, pack your stuff in. Nice.
Yeah. And the campgrounds, they're going to have areas for like RVs and campers and such, and then they'll have primitive areas for tents. And hopefully, from what I remember of the master plan, it's going to be spread out enough to where we're not all staring at each other also. So that'll be, you kind of have a little bit of elbow room to look around.
That is always nice.
Yes.
To maintain that vastness.
Yes.
What have you enjoyed about working to open the Crossbar?
Well, first off, would be the actual trail building. There's a couple areas that we rerouted. The original route, it was going to be a little sandy, so we took our kilometer, we flagged it, and in my opinion, it's pretty close to perfect. We don't break 8%. Most of the time, we're between 4 and 6, and so to me, that's been the most fun. The absolute most fun is being able to have somewhere close to home and actually be able to work on the trails. As far as becoming the executive director for the Friends of Crossbar, that has been a huge learning experience. I've had small businesses, I've been involved in clubs, but I've never been in the nonprofit world. And so I'm learning every day. I'm learning something new, and so that's been fun. That's been fun too, is to learn more about the nonprofit world and how everything works.
What has been hard?
The fundraising for me is hard. I'm going to say that's probably my hardest thing. The actual coming down for the ask is sadly probably one of my weakest areas.
It's hard. It sucks.
It is. It's so hard.
But obviously very necessary. It's what it takes.
It is necessary. And, one of the fun things is to take people out there and say, hey, this is what we're doing, and let them see the dream and see the idea. So probably that for me is the hardest part, is coming down to the ask.
And what is that dream? What is that idea? What is the thing about this work that makes you stay in it?
I want this property open for generations to come. I think it all comes back to, I want my grandkids walking on my trails. I want my grandkids and their kids to be able to drive into this national park and say, hey, you know what? Your great grandmother, she worked hard on this, and she and her friends, they did amazing things. The Amarillo community, the Panhandle community, they did something amazing. They got this open for us, and that's for me, that's the big dream.
Get into the holiday spirit with the Amarillo Symphony's Happy Holiday Pops concert. Join them on December 19th and 20th at the Globe News Center for an evening of your favorite holiday classics. From timeless carols to festive favorites, special guest vocalist Annika Spalding and the full symphony will fill the hall with the joy of the season. It's the perfect way to celebrate with family and friends. Visit amarillosymphony.org or call 806-376-8782 for more information. Okay, I'm back with Lorie VanOngevalle. Lorie, this is the part of the show I call 8 Straight. I'm going to ask you 8 questions. As my guest, you can answer them however you would like.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
When you think of Amarillo 10 years from now, what do you hope for?
So what I hope for is that we continue to grow, but in a solid fashion. So from our downtown area, that we're solid and we grow out from there. We don't have mountains or rivers. We have no physical barriers. Mm-hmm. And what I would like is for us to grow in strength and not like a patchwork quilt. I'd like the older areas to be revitalized and just to be very solid in our growth and be able to offer the opportunities to keep our younger generations here and employed and active in our area.
Absolutely. Other than wind, what does this area have too much of?
Oh, that's a tough one. Sadly, I think we have a lot of discord between our movers, shakers, and community leaders. We're a little high on that end.
What does this area not have enough of?
We don't have enough open spaces, green spaces. I think we do. We need more areas where we can ride our bikes, ride our rollerblades, and be able to get outside and unplug, even if it's for 30 minutes. Let's get outside and unplug a little. So we need some green spaces.
Yeah, I think even for as a kind of a remote, big-ish city is, all the more opportunity to get out, the better.
Yes.
It's important. What's your favorite local building, Lorie?
Okay, so my favorite building is the Herring Hotel. I did a tour of it several years ago.
It's so cool.
It is so cool. The mural that's in the basement, and then I think it's floors like 3, 4, 5 are still the old hotel room. So there's the old tiles, just the layout, to see what the layout was in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s is the coolest building ever. And I really hope that it comes to life again and can be as awesome as the Barfield.
Yeah, I think there's been some movement on it.
I think there has been. And I hope there is, because it was a fun tour. I haven't heard about tours since then, but it was really neat to climb all the stairs. We went all the way to the roof. basement to the roof.
I've not done a tour. I just did it. I got to go to an event just there in the ballroom.
Okay.
But I didn't go upstairs or downstairs. Yeah. I also think it would be very cool to see a renovation akin to the Barfield.
Well, and to still keep that historic aspect of it, to keep, the floors that were still left as the hotel rooms, to somehow, I know now we have huge rooms and not the little rooms with the single beds anymore, but to be able to have that historic value in that'd be fun.
What's your favorite local restaurant?
I have a couple. I like Malcolm's ice cream.
Yes.
I love Bangkok, Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
And for Mexican, I like to go to David's.
Okay, very good. Yeah. Those are solid choices. Lorie, how do you describe Amarillo to people outside our area?
I do say that it's flat. I say that the people are amazing. The community is just amazing. And I really, truly think we have the most beautiful skies of anywhere. Just every day, just look at the sunrise, look at the sunset. We're blessed.
I agree. What is the most underrated aspect of living here?
I think people just don't realize how wonderful the community is. It is a larger town or a larger city, but there's only maybe 2 degrees of separation. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody helps everybody. It's truly amazing. I've lived in Colorado where I never, ever met my next door neighbor. I know all my neighbors. We all know each other. They're all wonderful.
I think that's a really good answer for it being underrated, because true to the definition of that word, I don't think people maybe always realize that doesn't happen everywhere.
It does, yes.
And it doesn't.
It doesn't. It truly doesn't. I mean, I lived in the same house 2.5 years, and I never, ever met my neighbor. And here, I knew my neighbors before I moved in my house. So it's interesting to move into the area, and it's a different culture. And I think a lot of people don't realize how precious it is. Mm-hmm.
Last 8 straight question. Lorie, when was the last time you went out to Paladero Canyon?
Last week I was hiking.
Very good. I didn't figure it would be too long.
Yeah, I pretty much hike every weekend down there. Yeah. So I try to go down almost every weekend. So
it is a beauty.
It is.
Okay, that concludes 8 straight. I like to end these conversations by asking my guest to endorse something. Okay. Whether it be a group, an organization, maybe a piece of BLM land that hopefully one day we're walking on. Yes. Whatever you would want a listener to know about if they didn't already. What would you endorse? Okay. Well, of course, I would want everyone to learn about the crossbar. But I think, for my sake, is to go to Paladero. Go to Paladero. It's amazing how many people who live here who don't go to Paladero. Go to Wildcat Bluff. Go outside. Just go outside and enjoy it. So, if somebody wanted to help with you guys' efforts out at Crossbar, at this stage in the game where you guys are fundraising, so obviously it sounds like donations. I'll shout you guys' website here in just a moment. But if somebody wanted to get involved in helping get Crossbar more open to the public, what would that look like for them? We need connections. We need donations. Hopefully we'll be working on trails again in 2026. That would be just a matter of reaching out to me and saying, hey, I'm interested in coming to a work day. Cool. So that's something, if people wanted to go out and work on trails, we can get that situated. Mostly we need word of mouth. It is the only Bureau of Land Management land in the state. A lot of people don't even know what that is. Mm-hmm. So just communications and connections. Awesome. Well, Lorie, thank you so much for visiting today and for your insight and reminding all of us to go get outside. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. If you're starting or growing a small business and need some cash, let me tell you about Amarillo Venture Capital. They are a Hey Amarillo sponsor. They're locally owned, and what makes them different is they don't just invest in businesses. They invest in people. Whether you need $5,000 or $50,000, they offer flexible, asset-based loans, often with funding in a week or less. And it's not just the money. They can connect you with their local network of legal, accounting, and business resources to help you succeed. Check them out at amarilloventurecapital.com. And that concludes this episode. Thanks to Lorie for the interview. Learn more and get involved at friendsofcrossbarsrma.org. Thank you to the Amarillo Art Institute and the Amarillo Symphony for supporting this episode, and to Angelina Marie for editing every week. Thank you for listening. This has been episode 428 of Hey Amarillo. I'm Skylar Gallup, and we'll see you next week.